Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today I'm going to show you how to attach your granny squares with a join as you go method. This is also called a flat braid method as well. So what we're going to do today is that I'm going to show you how to strategically put these together using your crochet hook and just a minor use of your darning needle instead of having to sew everything completely together. So let's begin working on this process. So here are 4 granny squares and I'm gonna strategically put these together so that you have a border that is in the middle of a different color. So traditionally granny squares usually have a border that separates them, almost like a window pane kind of idea. The key trick to doing a join as you go method is to being very methodical when it comes to all of your joining as you go. So it doesn't really matter how you join as you go, but you have to consider some things in order to make it a lot easier for you. So the darning needle that we're gonna be using today is only to get rid of the loose ends at the very end because you're gonna need that, but you don't have to bother to sew all those together unless that's what you really want. So let's talk about assembly first and then I'll show you and then we'll start going through piece by piece in order to show you how it works. So the key trick is to have one granny square and you're going to make a border around this one of the color that you wanted. If you want the same color you can do so, it doesn't really matter. And what we're gonna do is that you're gonna do one solid granny square just like so. So this becomes the first part of your afghan. So how you grow this out from this point can be in any direction, could be left, right, up, down, it doesn't matter because that is your starting one. So the outside border has not yet been done on this one and I'm gonna show you how that's done. Once we get that done, that becomes your center point of your idea, or it can be the corner and you can start growing out on different sides. So then you're gonna bring up your next one and you're going to do the border for this one. But when it comes to this join here, you're going to join it to the existing border that will be over here first. And then you're just gonna keep on going and then you're gonna add your next one and so on. And so what's gonna happen here is that we're gonna start joining as you go, but the thing that you need to watch out for is to really pay attention to what sides that you're joining on. I really strongly recommend that you never join on 3 sides at one time. Only pick 1 or 2. So let's for example, let's say that we're going along and this happens to be the bottom of the afghan and you want to attach it here. You can go so you'll be attached here. So then the next one you can attach within these 2 sides right here. Okay? So what I would strongly recommend that you don't do is that, let's just say for example you have here, you have one up here, you have another one here. I strongly recommend that you don't join as you go with all 3 sides at one time. So be methodical about your ideas on how to join them together, and once you have that down pat you can just join as you go the way that you see fit. So let's begin and let's get your first one started, and that becomes your staple. That becomes the one that's everything is gonna start attaching to, and I'm gonna show you how easily that's done. So to begin, you're going to use the same size hook that you've been playing with within your square and the same type of yarn if you wish. So if you want to switch anything, now is the time to do it. But for gauge wise it should be the same size of the project that you've been working with so far. So we're gonna create a slip knot. Okay, and this becomes extra security, and what I want you to do is leave an extra long tail. These borders, that when we go to put them around, you really can't hide your yarn very well, so you're gonna want to use a darning needle and hide these afterward. But to hide those it takes very little time versus sewing everything completely together. So let's begin at corner. It could be any corner, it doesn't matter as long as you're wanting to do that corner for sure. And we're gonna start our very first one. So this is not gonna attach to anything. We need to start one and get it completely around before that you can do any kind of attaching on any other ones. So join it with the slip stitch. Okay, and then you're gonna chain 1 and you're going to single crochet into that same corner space. So for the border we're just going to create a really beautiful kind of open work for this. So we're gonna chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and you're gonna come back into the chain space and you're gonna single crochet once again. So I'm gonna let this straggler fall to the outside, and we're gonna deal with that later because you can't carry it and hide it at the same time. So you're gonna use a darning needle to get rid of that, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So now to carry on we need to jump to this chain space right here. Okay, this is just a typical granny square, and you're gonna chain 3 first. So 1, 2, 3, and just go around this chain space for a single crochet. Okay, so we're gonna do that again. So 1, 2 and 3. Your granny square can be any size as long as you're following this formula. Okay, and I'm chaining 3 because there's 3 double crochets there if you haven't picked that up yet. So then 1, 2, 3, and when you get to the next corner it'll always be the same. It'll be a single crochet Okay, so single crochet in there first, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and coming back into the chain space for another single crochet. So you'll see that you'll have these chain 3s here, but you also have it on the corners, and these are corners attached to the neighbors. So then you're just gonna turn your work and continue around. So just chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then going into the next chain 1 space, and then 1, 2, 3, next chain 1 space. Now that chain 1 space happens to be this type of square, but there are other types of squares available to you, like the modern granny that Jeannie did, where you're going in between the groups of 3 as well. So you don't have to just necessarily look for a chain 1 space. It could be just as long as it's incremental like that. So chain 3, so 1, 2, 3, coming into the next space. It happens to be a corner, so 1, 2, 3, coming into the same space. Okay, do you see that? And then coming across again. So 1, 2, 3, and next chain 1. So 1, 2, 3, just single crocheting into those spaces, and 1, 2, 3, going right into the corner, and then that's a corner, so you got a chain 3 and back in, and then carry on. So 1, 2, 3, and then coming into the next chain 1 space, 1, 2, 3, right there, and then see this corner is already completely done. So 1, 2, 3, and then just join it to the first single crochet that you started with, and you're done. Okay, so that is your final border that goes around each of the granny squares. However, when you're joining as you go, you can't just do all of these and then come back and join. You have to join as you go. So because this is the very first one, we want to finish this off, and this is where you're gonna use your darning needle, and I'm only gonna show it to you once in this entire tutorial and how it's done. So here are your loose ends, and I'm turning it to the back side of the project. Okay, and what I want to do is just put my yarn into a darning needle. Now if you drag it through the same color of yarn, okay, so just drag it through the same color 3 times. So go 1, so I'm just going right in there. Do not interfere with any spaces at all, just go right into the work. It doesn't have to be dragged a long way, and go a second time for 2 and a third time for 3. That it will be completely stuck in there. You'll never see a tail come out, and you can just trim it right down to the project like so. So that was your first tail gone, and so here's your next one. Well, that's where we finished off. So again, looking at the back side, I'd strongly recommend that you do this as you go and not wait until your whole afghan's done, where you'll have like 2 tails per square. So just dragging it through the same color. So 1 and then 2 and 3, just like that. Okay, so that third time is a charm. You just trim it right down to the project, and therefore it's harder to see where you started, but as an experienced crocheter you can always tell. So that's how you would do one complete one without attaching it, and now this becomes the staple in the next ones that will join, and we're gonna use the same color and join as you go in the next part. So in the next part of this tutorial, I'm gonna show you how to join it that you have one side. Okay, so you can easily do this kind of idea. It's really kind of cool. So whenever we hit a certain side and it's want to attach it, that's where we're gonna change the pattern a little bit. So let's put this one out to the sides off camera, and let's start our first one. So our first one, leave an extra long tail that you're gonna use to weave in the ends, and you're gonna start off in the corner. Can be any corner, doesn't matter. Join it with the slip stitch. You already know how to do this, and chain 1 and single crochet into that same corner, and move that straggler into the back side. So let's begin again. You're gonna chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and coming into the same space. So I highly recommend that you never join on the first side. That's why, remember I was showing you before, never join on 3 sides at the same time. So get yourself almost all the way across until you get to the final corner before you start pulling up your neighbor in order to join it as you go. So if you remember, it's chain 3 and look for the next gap space, single crochet and chain 3, next gap space, chain 3, and here is the corner. So this is where the game plan changes to join as you go. So remember that there was 3 chains in a corner. So because you're gonna join as you go, one of the chains has to substitute to join to the neighbor. So looking at the top side, or the right side first Okay, so they're both on the right side, so make sure one's not accidentally turned over because you'll hate yourself later for that. And what you want to do is that each corner is made up of 3 chains. We know that already. So how we join as we go is that we chain up 1. So now you're gonna go up through and pull through, okay? And you have 2 choices at this point. You can either single crochet these 2 together, or you can just slip stitch it together. Okay, so just going into the one and pulling it through and through. I prefer slip stitching, but you can single crochet, it doesn't matter. And then you chain 1. So even if you single crochet, you still chain 1, and you come back down into the square that you're playing with for a single crochet. So now you've officially attached your squares in the corner sections as you see. So now we're gonna continue along, and we're gonna incrementally attach these to the neighbor as you go. So right now what we would have done if this one behind doesn't exist is that you're gonna chain 3 and then attach over here. But because it's over there and we have 1 to attach, you only chain 1 and then you go into the next chain space on the other one and pull through and through, or you can do a single crochet, it's up to you. Then chain 1 and then come into the single to this space right here for a single crochet. So you can see you just attached it right in between. Okay, so these chain 3 spaces are now together. So then we're gonna begin again. So chain 1, okay, go into the next chain space and the other one, either do a single crochet or a slip stitch, and then chain 1 and then come to the next one over here. Okay, for a single crochet, and you continue to do that as big as your square is when they're joining each other. So now I'm coming up near to the end. So you're gonna chain 1 and I'm gonna join the last one and then chain 1 and then I come into a corner. So here's where a mistake could happen. You need to make sure that you join your 2 corners together. So at this point they're not joined together. So you want to chain 1, go up and get that 1 up there. It's the corner 1, chain 1 and then come back down in like so. So now you officially can see that they're joined together exactly where they're supposed to be. So they still look the same on both sides, but now one is just wrapped around the other for a flat braid. So because there's nothing else to attach to at this point, if you had another one to attach to, you could have continued along and continued to join, and I will show you that later on in today's tutorial. But there's nothing there right now, so the rest of the square is like as you know it, chain 3 and then go into the next space and then chain 3 like so. And then you continue to work around. So in the corners it's gonna be chain 3 and then single crochet in the same one and then continuing again. So you can see this can be a very speedy process when you're working at it like this. This is my favorite kind of joining if I want to avoid that darning needle, and or if the project justifies that I don't need a darning needle as well and I can do it this way, I will opt to do it this way more often than not. So once you get all the way back around, just join it to the first single crochet and then that one's done, and then you're just going to weave in the ends, which I've already shown you how to do. Okay, so you'll just put it through a darning needle and that's what you have. Okay, it's a nice flat join. Okay, it's just because it's such a small example. And then what we're gonna do then is that I'm gonna show you how to attach to a side here. But let me tell you, it's the same as attaching here. It's just only attaching one side. And the reason why I'm gonna go this way is that I wanna show you how to attach to 2 sides at one time. So let's carry forward. So now I'm back. So what we can do is that you can continue to go and join so that you end up with a very long strip of these things. It's up to you, and then you can just work your way then up and start joining on the next layers going up. You can do that if you wish, or you can just strategically just grow out and just go from one corner and just massively go out. It's up to you on how you want to attack this thing. So now we're gonna start another one. Okay, and again with the slip knot, leaving a large tail so that you can get rid of those loose ends after, and attach. Can be any corner. I've already stated that before. So what I'm gonna show you on this one is what happens when you have a join and there's already 2 into the same one. So we're gonna chain up 1 and single crochet into the first one as always. Get rid of that tail while we're at that point. So 1, 2 and 3 coming into the same one. Again the same rule, do not join the very first row. It just is a lot easier if you don't. Okay, so just leave this one empty so you're not joining to anything. So just get yourself established. Again, you're chaining 3s and single crochets strategically as you go across. Okay, and now here's the first corner. So I went into the first corner, but now what I can do is if you're joining here, Okay, you will just go straight across, so chain 1 straight across and then single crochet or slip stitch and then come back. Or if you're coming into something like this where there's already 2 here, I want to show you exactly where to go with that, because if you get into the wrong one you can end up with a hole right in the middle of your work. So as I move forward, what I want to do is I want to chain 1 and I want to look to where it's gonna go, and I'm gonna attach it starting right here in this point. And what I want to do is that if I attach it here it's gonna be off centered, and if I attach it on this side it's gonna be off centered. So I want to attach it right where that other kind of knot is coming together in order to keep it consistent. So again, coming up from the underside, just coming up, and I want to get it right into the center of that where it's attaching. Okay, and then I'm just going to either single crochet it together or slip stitch it. I prefer to slip stitch, then chain 1 and then come back down in the same one. So what this did is it allowed me to have a nice solid join here in the middle by doing it like that. So again, like I had before, chain 1 only, and I can attach it to the neighbor on the other side. So just coming up, okay, so either single crochet or slip stitch, coming in, chain 1 and then come back to this one. Okay, then chain 1, go to the next one on the other side, chain 1, and you keep doing that until you run out of side to work with. Do not forget that when you get to the final corner, not to forget that you still have a corner here on the other side. So chain up 1, okay, coming up to that last corner on the other side, slip stitch or single crochet, chain 1 and come back in. So now you've officially then attached this right into the center. You can see it's a nice solid join right here, and you've officially attached it here and here. The rest of this is exactly what you know. So please do that, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back and show you how to do 2 sides at one time, just like you see right here. So you can see my squares are coming along quite nicely, and I have my nice borders. You can see it's a nice center area here. The back looks just as fine as well, and what we're gonna do then is that I'm gonna show you how to attach 2 sides at one time within one square. Again, I recommend not doing 3 at the same time. Just keep it to 2, and if you strategically put it together then you should be able to get away with that as well. So let's grab our last square that I'm about to show you, and we're gonna start it off the exact same way. And what are we not gonna do with that very first side? That's right, we're not gonna attach it to anything. Let's get ourselves started and established first, and then just with the slip knot, chain 1, single crochet into the same one, and then chain 3 and then back in. Let's get rid of that extra long string in the back, and then chain 3 and keep on moving. So right when we go to do that next corner is when we want to start playing and joining as you go when you're doing this kind of concept. So let's just zoom in a little bit closer, and let me show you where you're gonna go. So the goal is now is to attach this square to here and here at the same time. So this side is gonna join like you already know. This side's gonna be joining as you know. The trick is right here in the middle, and then you're just gonna finish it off the way that you started. So it's easier, as I mentioned, just to start one row off that's not attaching to anything. It just makes it much easier for you. So let's begin. We're gonna chain up 1, and we're just gonna go to the corner of the next one and attach either with a single crochet or slip stitch, and then come back in with a single crochet. So then you can see it's now attached. So chain up 1 and go to the original on this side, okay, slip or single, and then chain 1 and then come back to this side. So you can see we're attaching, okay, so chain 1, go to the other one, and then chain 1, come back. Okay, chain 1, go to the other one, chain 1 and then come back, and now you're in the corner. So you're officially come along the edge here, and now we gotta pull it in. So if you just skip over this and just go, you're gonna end up with a hole right here. So you have to make sure that this corner is gonna attach. So like it was before, we wanna go right into where it's really busy, right in the center. So let's just chain up 1, and coming up from the underside is that we want to go right where all of the other strands are and pull through, either slip or single, and then come back. Okay, so I went right into the heap of the mouse right in the middle, and therefore it closes everything in. So now I can continue then down this side, chain 1 and join this one and coming in. So you're really doing your borders at the same time, as well as attaching as you go without excessive use of your darning needle other than your tail ends to get rid of it. Remember, in the final corner right here, chain 1, you still have a corner over here, finish that off, chain 1, come back, and you're done like that. Okay, so you can see that we're kind of working our way through. It's all kind of buckling right now because I haven't relaxed it, and the relaxing is just a matter of just shifting it and playing with it a little bit. So then you continue then the remaining of the side like so, and then you just keep on going like that. If I don't drop my yarn, it would be faster, right? So chain up 3 and then you just join to the beginning. So you can do that, and now you can grow from any side really. You can go in any direction if you want to. So the key trick is not to join more than 2 sides at one time in order to complicate it for yourself. But it's a great way to do these kind of projects, and you'll see that you'll have a success each and every time, and then you will see that it will look lovely as well. So until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of Yarn Inspirations as well as the Crochet Crowd. This is the Join As You Go, and this is a fabulous idea. We'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.